check out his strong points first, weak points later, because I don't want to be surprised by the strong points. I would not always train, do drills especially for it, but sometimes I would. I let you, the last exercise was one side orthodox, one side southpaw. In 1999, when I fought the K1 Grand Prix, I assumed that all my opponents could be southpaw. The first was Andy Hook, and he was a southpaw. The second was Jerome Labena or Peter Arts. Jerome is a southpaw. The third was Musashi, Mirko Prokop, who else? Sam Greco, or what's the other one? No, forgot. Anyway, I thought it would be Prokop, and it was like that. So what I did is I trained for 2 months southpaw. For 2 months I trained only southpaw. It made me crazy in the beginning, you know. But after the 2 months I know how to do it. And I was switching all the time. But apart from the switching, I knew what was coming. So that was very important. So that was kind of a mental thing. Also, what I do mentally in the same event, I fought with a Prokop in the final, and I beat him before. I beat him by low kicks, so I knew he would think about that. So the first two rounds, I only make low kicks. So then he was already hurt. In the last round, I thought, okay, now let's try something else. Let's try some boxing. What I didn't know is that he had an injury from his fight on his rib or something. So, but I thought, okay, I'm gonna box now. So I started boxing and I hit him on his stomach, and then he went down, and then went one more time on his liver. Then I won the Grand Prix. Because yeah, you always will. I would always try to get in my opponent's head, and that's a mental thing.
So follow up to that would be, how would you stop your opponent getting into your head?
How I would stop my opponent to get into my head? You know, he can only get into my head when I'm insecure.
And that's why, hence why you learn your southpaw position, because you know your opponent would be insecure if they had to fight a different way, right? So you know your insecurities and you try to alleviate.
Exactly. You know, and the thing is, I'm not afraid. I mean, that year I was knocked out very hard. Everybody thought I'm finished.
And how did you get back up from that?
I don't know. Oh, the funny thing is, I was fighting, and at the next moment, I was in the locker room. I didn't know what happened. Maybe I asked it already 100 times. I don't know. I remember one time. I asked, what happened? You got knocked out. Then I was in the locker room. Didn't know how I got out of the ring. I remembered a few parts of the fight, but not all. And that was very scary. So next day I went home because my partner was pregnant, and 5 days later my daughter was born. So I was happy to get some distraction. It's not good to say, but I mean, I was very happy with my daughter, but it was also, I didn't have to think about the knockout. But then the Japanese journalists started to send me messages. It was still by email. Are you too old? I was 34. Are you too old? Are the other fighters too good? shouldn't you stop? And the shouldn't you stop triggered me so much that I stop when I want to stop. So, and also changed, something changed in my head, you know, because I went to a party 3 weeks before the fight. There's a crazy party in Holland called Wasteland. And it's a very nice party. And I mean, I went there, I didn't drink or something, but I came home 6 o'clock or something. If I think about it now, it's like, how could you ever think to do that? While you have to fight a strong opponent
And a kid coming.
okay, the kid coming also, yes, but especially the fight, that moment. How could I do that? You know, it's just so stupid. So after that, no parties, no nothing, no. I didn't go out for 3 years or something. Yeah, after the fight, yes, but before that, no. So actually, it helped me being confronted with a knockout and like that. It helped me to improve my game.
So losing is imperative too.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to lose. You shouldn't want to lose. But if you lose and you learn from it, yeah, it can make you. For sure, it made me better fighter.
Thank you. Could you share us, like, before your competition, like important ones, Grand Prix, how you're preparing yourself, like week before, 2 weeks before, or 1 month before? How was your schedule, so we could also
Okay.
learn from you?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't change a lot in my preparation for a single fight or a tournament. You know, the only thing with a tournament is you're gonna look, oh, who can be my opponent. But then you don't know. So basically, only prepare for the first opponent. And in your head, you think about what can happen. Like I told you in '99, in my head, it's already there was a possibility I would fight 3 southpaw fighters. So then I trained southpaw. But basically, you can only prepare on your first opponent, and the second, and it's also like if you fight a tournament, after the first fight, if you win, you know, to me it doesn't matter. I have not so much tension anymore, you know, and I'm just like, okay, we're gonna fight. He's fighting like this. I have to do this because you have done so many trainings already, so you kind of know what to do. And especially later in the K1, the thing is that many times I would fight the same fighter. I fought Peter Art 6 times in total. I fought Andy Hook 3 times. Fought Jerome LeBenner 5 times. You know, so you kind of know what they do. You know, because they can change maybe the fight plan, but basically they cannot. Basically the fight is the same way. They might change a little bit. I changed. I can say I changed because I went from orthodox to southpaw, for example. But to change everything, that's almost impossible.
What is your most successful combination?
Well, I think people will say a combination finishing with a low kick. In the beginning, it was more high kicks, but I think that any combination finishing with a low kick, if you don't do it always at the same time. So, for example, sometimes I make 1 punch, 1 low kick. Sometimes I make 2 punches, 1 low kick. Sometimes I make 3 punches, 1 low kick. And then it's funny because your opponent, sometimes he expects it. So he's gonna lift his leg, but he doesn't know when it comes. You know? So for me that was important to do. And but on the other hand, sometimes I was very happy when after the first year in K1 they started to call me Mr. Perfect. I think it was a very nice name. I was very honored. But then they also tried to also call me Mr. Low Kick. I didn't know. I didn't like that because I'm sure I'm much more than only low kick.
Yeah.
You know, like I say, I made many knockouts with high kick too, and with punches.
Okay. There was a fighter I remember you fighting, Mason Gibson, and he had this very weird, unorthodox bladed stance. I'm very curious as to like how you felt fighting him, and furthermore, like how important do you think it is to match your own personality to the moves that you do and your fighting style?
Yeah, how important it is to match your own personality. I don't know. I think it's good to have a split personality for the fight.
Yeah.
Not in life, but the fight, yes. Because I always try to adjust to my opponent. But Mason Gibson, that was I didn't know nothing about him, and I kind of blame my trainer for it. I a little bit blame myself because he was like, yeah, we take it easy, no problem, blah blah blah. And he's an American. And Americans cannot fight. Americans don't know nothing about low kicks and everything. Those days in the 90s. But Manson was something else. You know, he moved so weird. You know, was switching stance all the time and making the put his leg in the air and keep on kicking. And I was not able to hit him good with a low kick, for example. And then, okay, I was still winning the fight. And then in the last round, he made, what did he do again? I like the move. Actually, I forgot to do it, but sometimes I do it in the training. He made a middle kick and with his right leg. And then he put his leg in front and then he made the backhand. And then I fell and I got the down. And I know at that time, the first year of K1, they did a 5 count.
Yeah.
They did not
5
8
seconds.
count. Yeah, they did 5 seconds because they were like, yeah, you fight a tournament, so you have to be able to recover in 5 seconds. So it was 5 counts. I took the count, no problem. I'm sure I won the first 2 rounds. But in the last round, he gave me the backhand. So before the draw and do extra rounds, I won the extra round. And at the end, I won the tournament. But yeah, it will always be difficult to fight unorthodox fighters, and especially like him, like he was leaning backwards, so it was very hard to hit him, you know, because his leg were in front, and yeah, I think it's the craziest fighter I ever fought, or not the craziest, but the fighter with the strangest style I ever fought. Yeah. So I never want to see him again.
Yes, Samir.
It's perfect. When you look back at your career, like, what was it like fighting Bob Sapp?
Yeah.
We had this talk yesterday.
I always expect that.
We're not talking about that today.
No.
We're joking. We're joking.
Okay, yeah.
No problem at all.
We're joking.
Yes.
No problem at all. Okay, the first time when he came to Japan, actually we were in the same airplane, and we were watching the fight. I saw him and I was like, who the fuck is this clown?
I've seen him in person.
Then he fought with Musashi and he did all kind of strange things. And I thought like, what is he doing here? You know? Okay. 2002. Suddenly they came with the idea. Oh, K1 was doing very bad financially. When Bob Sapp came, it was something else, something new. So people started to look again. I didn't lose for 2 years or something. For a long time. And then they were like, Ernesto, you want to fight Bob, you have to fight Bob Sapp. And I said, what? You're gonna let me fight with that clown? Come on, you know? Yeah, but somebody have to fight him. Yeah, just take somebody else. Don't let me fight with that bullshit guy like that, you know? But then I don't know. I think my trainer, coach, he had something to do with it. So I had to fight him. So okay, I'll fight him. But I had a problem. I did a lot of fights that year, and I went to Vegas. I remember I went to Vegas to fight, and after Vegas, there was how do you call that event? Shockwave Dynamite. And Shockwave Dynamite was in the football stadium of Tokyo. And there could be 100,000 people.
Yeah.
And I wanted to experience that. But after, they asked me, do you want to fight? I said, okay, if I win my fight in Vegas and I have no injuries, I will fight. So I won my fight. I said, okay. But then I made one big mistake. Instead of going to Japan right away, I went home first. So I got jet lag going to Vegas. Jet lag going back. Jet lag going to Japan. So I was a wreck. I was not good. So and then I had to fight that clown. And I'm pretty sure, I'm 1000% sure, because people told me later, Bob said he could do anything he wanted to in the first fight. You know? So he grabbed me with one hand and hit me with the other hand, and like I was looking at the referee like, what the fuck is it? And he's like, go on, go on, go on. And then later I heard all those kind of things, you know, that he was training with people to fight like that and everything. Okay. For K1 it was a big success because K1 was almost bankrupt. But that fight was live. Normally it was not live on TV, but like 2 hours later they would show it on TV. But that fight was live. It was a big success. So I was out. It was a qualification. So I was out of the tournament. I lost. But since it was such a big success, they paid. I forgot who he was supposed to fight. Who was he supposed to fight? Sammy Shield. He was supposed to fight Sammy Shield. Apparently they paid Sammy Shield some money, like go out, we put Ernesto in. So Sammy Shield, he, what did he say? He said he got injury while bowling.
Oh, my chest.
I was like, how could you come with an excuse like that? But anyway,
Oh, sugar,
he
honey,
was
iced tea.
injured by bowling, so they put me in.
The thing is,
I became kind of insecure fighting with that guy because of what happened the first time. But the second time, I think I have to move a lot, I have to move in and out, don't stay. But I'm also a big guy. I mean, moving takes a lot of energy. Anyway, I knocked him down on his body, and he stood up. You know, one of the best things he ever did, I think. He stood up, and I was disappointed about it because I thought the fight was finished. So I started to take too much risk, staying close to him. Then I got hit myself, and the referee stopped the fight. Later they said because he stopped the fight and didn't count me out, I could continue because Bob Sepp was finished.
Yeah.
I hit him on his legs and he was out, so I could return into the tournament. After that I won. Many people were angry about it because they think I shouldn't fight, and basically I think they're right. So after that they changed the rules. They came with reserve fighters, so there were 2 reserve fights. So if a fighter would surrender because of an injury or something, then not the loser but the reserve fighter would come. But for my luck, I could come back into the tournament and I won the tournament. That's the story about Bob Sepp. And I mean, it's already 20 years ago now, so it's okay. But in the beginning, I hated that guy. You know? I really hated him. He came to Holland once, or every time I saw him, I didn't want to talk to him. Sometimes I had to do TV shows with that guy. Yeah. He even fought with some fake fight, some WWF kind of fight. Then I won. Like, yeah, just give me the money and I get out, you know, because I really didn't care about that fight. But so he is, how you call that, the black spot on my career.
Fair enough.
Sorry, long story.
Next question. Yes, ma'am.
What psychological techniques do you use before and during competition or matches?
Before and during the
Before you fight, what's your your psychological advantage? What do you do?
What I do a lot is I visualize. I visualize what my opponent can do to me. That's the most important thing. So I watch the video and over and over, and I visualize what can he do to me first. Then I visualize what can I do to him. What are his weak points? I first look for like what are his strong points, then what are his weak points. Because of course I don't have no strong point. I don't have no weak points. You know that. I have a lot, but that's how I think. And then so that is something I do myself. My trainers cannot do that. You know, I do myself. And many times it worked. Sometimes it didn't, but most of the time it would work. It wouldn't work sometimes if my opponent would do something different than I would expect. Then it wouldn't work.
Next question.
Go on. What is your strength conditioning setup before the fight?
Okay, it changed throughout the years. What I would do, for example, normally like 3 times a week, 3 to 4 times a week, I would do combinations of sparring drills. Especially like the last thing we did, I did a lot because that was very good for our condition. And on Sunday I would go to the beach, to the dunes, and sprint up and down like 12 times or something. But the sand was really hard in the sand, you know. And then so 12 times was enough.
So sprinting on the beach, how long would you rest on? Would it be like up and down, or just like a minute to break and back?
In the beach?
Yeah.
Up, sprint up, walk down. Walk, when I'm down, up again. So the rest would be the walk. But still that was already heavy. But then I would check my heart rhythm, to see, and that was very good. Basically, that it was already good to see how good my condition was. You know, because if I would start my training camp, and like the first time I would do it, it would be my heart rate would be much higher than the last time. The last time I couldn't get my rate that high because my condition was good. Yeah. 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 Well, it was just a test for me how good is my condition. Well, not only a test, it's also a real training, but it was good to see how far my body was before the fight. Yeah.
Laura? How do you deal with fear?
Basically, I'm not afraid when I fight. Basically, one time I had to fight Mike Bernardo, and somehow I had lost. The year before I had lost to Jerome Lebena. The fight before I was knocked down. I won the fight, but I was knocked down by also South African guy, and then I had to fight with the Mike. And Mike, yeah, he was a good puncher. Not his kicks were not so good, but his punches were very good. And I remember calling my ex-wife, and she was starting to come to say things. The children do this, the children that. I don't want to hear that now, you know. So I hang up the phone and everything. I was kind of nervous. I had a very bad sleep, but I was lucky that we had to leave early by bus, and it was like bus drive was like an hour and a half. I slept. I came into the stadium. I had quite a kind of late flight. I slept again, and when I woke up, I was like, okay, we just want to do it. I don't care. And we fought, and we started. When we started to fight, he was nervous too. So he was like a religious guy, and he was doing like this. Okay. So we started the fight. Was still that those days were 5 round fights, and first round was even. Second round he knocked me down, and yeah, normally after he would knock somebody down, he would finish the fight. But I was down, but I was not dizzy or something. It was just boom. It's so funny, you know, that the one moment you are fighting and suddenly you're on your butt. Like, what happened? Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess he caught me. But I was not. I had no problem. So I stood up. I continued the fight. The next round, I hit him hard with a few low kicks. He was hurt. And then the fourth round, I knocked him down on low kicks. And then I knew I got him. And then after that I knocked him out with the punch. And it was kind of like, I was very happy then. It's kind of like I overcame my fear or something, because I was very nervous before the fight. But when that happened, then I knew, okay, so people can knock me out because I am not a fighter who can take a very hard punch. But if I stand up, I fight. And actually that year was the first year I became K1 champion.
So what do you think when you feel pain?
Sorry?
What do you think when you feel pain? When someone kicks you so bad that you feel pain, you want to cry?
When I fight, I don't care about pain. I don't know how I do that. I don't know. But when I fight, I don't care about pain. I don't feel it. I feel it. I know it's there, but it doesn't come into my head or something. You know, it's not important. You know, sometimes I would make a kick, and my leg would hurt, and then I would feel it, and then I would think, oh, it's gonna hurt when I finish the fight. But I don't care about it now. I have no time. It's like I don't have time for pain. When I fight, I have no time for pain. You know, that's later. In a tournament, sometimes it's difficult. Which one it was? In the K199, when I talked about K199, I fought with Jerome Banner, and I tried to give him a high kick, and I think I overextended my leg, and then my knee hurt, and I could hardly walk. So I put ice. I won the fight, put ice on it, that's also a nice story. I had a slight cut here, so I put a piece of tape here, but the problem was here. And I think up till today, Mirko Kroko heard later that I couldn't walk and everything, but as the tape was here, he thought I fooled him. Put the tape here, but having the problem there. So up till now, I left it like that. So he still thinks that that was not the case, you know. But I would think about it the next time, or when I would train a fighter, he would have a problem on the one side, then I would do something like that to try to fool the opponent.
On my side, what I do is if my fighter is injured or when I'm injured, so if this knee hurts, I would tape both knees. I'll either tape both knees or I'll tape the other side.
No.
So if the ankle is hurt, if this is the bad ankle, I will tape both ankles.
Yeah.
So I'll tape this one, but I'll tape this one more.
Yeah.
So it's more of okay. So this is the one that they're looking at.
Yeah. Yeah, but with the ankle, many fighters they have the ankle protected.
Like that.
Like you.
Like that.
I didn't wear them so much. At some point I started to wear them, and then I would wear both. Yes. And if I would have a problem, sometimes I had a problem with my shin or something, then the ankle protector was good. If it was a longer one, then you could protect the shin a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah. But the Krokop story, I don't know if he already knows that it was not on purpose. But the Krokop story was a very good one. He told me himself. I said okay. So I didn't tell him that it was by chance that it happened like that. You know, that because I had a cut, and but it worked, so it was good for me. And especially with Krokop, because Krokop is, like we did before, Krokop was a southpaw fighter. So, but he was not that experienced then, because most fighters, who was it? There was Andy Hook, he would kick me to my right leg. The training I did with you guys, or one southpaw, one orthodox, and he would kick me to my right leg. The second time, the fight I lost, we fought 4 times, I won 3, I lost 1, and the fight I lost, he would do that, kick me to my rear leg, and I would, the first 3 or 4 kicks, he hit me, and then after I made a hard block, apparently maybe his leg hurt or something, he didn't kick me anymore. But that is, I learned it from him to do this, you know. So, any more questions?
Any questions?
What would your advice be for anyone looking to compete?
Just do it. Yeah, because, you know, of course you have to, your trainer must be must think you are ready for it. And if you are, yeah, enjoy and try to enjoy it. Of course, you will not enjoy it when you get knocked out, but you should think about that. You should think about it. But when I fought the first time, my opponent was more experienced than I was. And I was the first fighter from the gym who would do the fight. So my trainer was far more nervous than I was. So we went to the venue, and he told me, "Yeah, you're nervous, huh? You're nervous." "Oh, no, I'm not nervous." "Yeah, you're nervous." "I'm not." "Yeah, you are." "No, I'm not." Like that, you know. And of course I was nervous, or tension, how you call it. I felt it later because I felt it in my legs, you know. It felt like my legs were tired. And that was a strange feeling. And then the second time I felt the same. And later I realized it was like, yeah, I'm tense, I'm tension. I have to put this. But when I started the fight, it was gone, you know. It was like, okay. And I knocked my opponent out the first time. Actually, I knocked him out with a move I used for you guys, like the inside low kick and then the straight. Only thing is, he was southpaw, so he kicked me to my right leg. So I got confronted with that, the exercise I did with you guys too. So both exercises actually. He kicked me to my right leg all the time. And at some point, I didn't really feel it or something, the kicks. Yeah, afterwards I did, but at some point I saw there's no defense. I must punch now. It was like instinct or something. So I gave him a right and then he dropped. And then I knocked. It was my first knockout. But the second time I knocked a fighter out like that. The first time I didn't realize. The second time when I realized it was already 7 or 8 years later. And yeah, and thinking back, yeah, it was the first time. It was just like I don't see a defense. I must punch now. And after that, it was like, okay, there is no defense when he kicks me like that. But then I have to punch.
All right. Next question. That's the last question. Any other questions? Yes, Brandon.
Sorry? What made me
get into fighting?
Get into fighting?
Why did you start fighting?
Yeah. I heard about kickboxing, and only the word kickboxing sounded very, interesting.
Yeah.
So I asked my father. It was on TV, I think. I think it was on TV. The show was on TV. So I asked my father, can I go join a kickboxing club? And then he said, where do you have to do that? In Amsterdam. But I don't live in Amsterdam, so that was like 1 hour trip to Amsterdam. I said no. So, but when they come in our hometown, we can do it. So 2 years later, somebody came to teach, to train, and then I went into it right away. And the funny thing is that the drills, the boxing drills, the stepping, step and punch, and those kind of things, I knew those things after 2 trainings. I knew how to do it. While some of the guys didn't know. After 1 year, they still didn't know how to do it. So thinking back, I knew then that I had the talent, you know, and kicking also was not such a problem. It came all naturally. And that's why I was the first of the gym who started fighting. And for example, my cannot believe now that I did it, but my 10th fight, 10th or 11th fight, I fought in America. So I did 10 fights in total. In Holland we have C class, B class, A class. Nowadays it's impossible to have 10 fights and be A class fighter. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Those days it was, apparently. So my 10th fight was was full contact, so no locals, in America. But I was like, okay, I can fight in America. They gotta go to Florida. So it was, and after the fight, I fought. I think the third day, I fought, and then we could stay for a week longer. So I had a holiday also, going to America. The next fight, I fought in Canada with the world champion, Johnny Theriot, you know? Yeah. Johnny Theriot. I fought with the world full contact champion. My 12th fight. He already had 50 knockouts.
Yeah.
I fought my 12th fight with him. But he beat me on points, so it was very good for me. So after the fight, I was cheering, as if I won. Because he knocked everybody out, but he wouldn't knock me out. So I was very happy. Yeah. And the next fight, I fought with Rob Kaman. Rob Kaman, you know, guys know Rob Kaman?
Yes.
Maybe you don't know him, but he was a very good Dutch fighter. Very strong low kicks. And I remember my girlfriend lived in a different city. I had no car yet. I just got my driving license, but I had no car yet. So I came home from my girlfriend, and my father, I was living with my parents still. My father told me, you have to call your trainer. So I called my trainer and said, yeah, you can fight tonight. You know, against who? So I said the name. No, against Rob Kaman. Then you get 8,000 guilder. 8,000 guilder would be now, I think the same as 8,000 pounds or something. Something like that, you know. So that was a lot of money for 21-year-old guy. So okay, I'll fight. No training, because I didn't train for a month. So I did a fight, and I lost on points. So, but it was good for me because basically I won. Because I gained a lot of respect. Because people knew that I just heard about the fight the same night, and I did the fight. And because of that, I could do also other fights. Rob told other promoters like, yeah, you have to let him fight because he will show up and he will fight. So.
For sure. Awesome. All right, everyone, please one more time for the legendary Mr. Perfect Ernesto Hoost, the people's champion, the champion's champion, your favorite fighter's favorite fighter. Round of applause, please. If you need anything like an autograph or anything signed up, he's gonna give everybody or anyone just one autograph, say your t-shirt, your glove, whatever it is, one per person, all right? Other than that,
you can do more, I'm okay.
But not your whole day, you have to catch a flight.
I have to catch a flight.
Exactly, no. Other than that, it's been emotional. Round of applause, please, thank you very much. Yes. Thank you, everyone. Please, thank you.